what does make you angry then?
Apart from these questions, all the three are in the squad, so that's good. Like I said before, the previous game they were getting closer to minutes. The challenge for us obviously is to build them up and to make sure they're right from a game time perspective. But it's good that Wesley, Dennis, and Matteo are with the group. As you say, it's the knockout stage of the Champions League, the absolute I would say pinnacle in terms of the game. Great test, playing against a fantastic club and a team in front of 80 odd thousand here. So wonderful occasion. I think we're all looking forward to the match. All understand the challenge that awaits us, but really excited for it.
Hi, Graeme. I know you're not on social media, but there's been some stuff floating around between Mark Cucurella and Mudryk from the weekend. Mudryk appeared to like and then unlike a meme that criticised Cucurella, and then there's a video floating around of him with a former teammate who says, "Do Chelsea need a new left back?" And he appears to say yes. I don't know if you're aware of anything that's gone on between the two, if there's a problem that you need to address, because there's just from Saturday's game where it looks like Cucurella doesn't sort of pick out Mudryk's runs, seems to sort of go inside instead of passing to him. Seems like there's maybe a disconnect between the two. Are you aware of anything you need to fix?
Well, there's no problem in terms of anything sinister at all. If anything, it's just teammates understanding each other. It's quite a common problem, I would say, when to pass and at what point and what time. Playing against the back five, West Ham make it difficult for you to access maybe the wide man's feet, and it's just an understanding of when to play in space or how to make the runs. I think it's just, Misha's, I think that's his third game with us, so there's no problem. It's more just an understanding challenge, which is quite easy to understand when you understand when you recognise the context that we're in.
Hi, Graeme. Hiya. Just following on from Jacob's point, if I may, just briefly, you say that it's a question of understanding. Is there kind of a case now that you've got so many new players that they all have to work a bit on understanding each other, and that maybe have a bit of patience with each other as they get to know each other?
Well, we've got a squad that we have. It's a Chelsea squad. It's a squad that we're really excited about. But at the same time, we know there are challenges. We know there's work that we have to do. And whenever you're forming a new group, if all of us just started to work together, we would have to take some time, and we'd have to understand each other and understand what makes us tick and understand how we can help each other. But I must say that's the impression I get when I see the boys on a daily basis. Is good spirit, good harmony. They're pushing each other in a good way. We had a good training session today. You can see the guys are working hard, trying to support the team, trying to support each other. So, whilst there are challenges, there are lots of things to be happy about as well.
There was the handball at West Ham, and some quite senior ex-footballers were saying that you should have got angry about it. Firstly, I just wonder what your take is on that, and secondly, more interesting, just what does make you angry then? What's made you angry in the past year or so? Or is there anything make you angry?
Apart from these questions, I would say, well, I'm careful not to get into discussion with the media through the media. Of course, I get angry. I'm a human being, just like you. It's just that I choose to conduct myself the way that I think is the right way to conduct myself on the side. I think the same media are talking about me being more angry and then running stories about problems with referees at grassroots football. I don't see the connection. That's not to say that we don't all lose our temper, because we do, because it's an emotional thing. But at the same time, I think I have a responsibility to myself, to Chelsea and to the game to act in the way that I think is the right thing for me. Not for anybody else, but for me. if you think that you can start a coaching career in the ninth tier of English football, in the Northern Counties, not the Prem, the Northern Counties Division 1, and get to this point now as in the Chelsea Champions League without getting angry or being nice, then I would suggest you don't know anything about anything.
Okay. At the back there.
Hello, Potter. Hi. Here, Marcelo Beckler from... Here, do you see me? Yeah. Marcelo Beckler from TNT Sports Brazil. After spending more money than 5 leagues together at the winter window, Chelsea spent more than La Liga, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Serie A Italiana. Do you think that there is a big obligation to win champions and to win the Champions League, to win the Premier League? And also, if you can answer me, how can clubs with a small budget can compete with Chelsea on long term?
Well, of course, there's more pressure and expectation that when you spend money, there is a 2 + 2 is 4, which is you should win. Thankfully, we know that football doesn't work exactly like that because you need resources to win. Don't get me wrong, but I think you need more than that, and that's the challenge. That's the more than that money doesn't buy you. So you have to. That's where you have to do your work. My experience is that you have to align your resources very, very well. You have to understand the opportunities that you have and the strengths that you have, and maybe the way that you can compete against teams with more resources than you. But it can be done. Can a Brighton consistently win the Premier League 4 out of 5 times? No, probably not, I would say, because there's 95% of leagues are determined by finance, I would say. But at the same time, if you're not in those big ones, you want to be the 5% that's bucking the trend. And how you do that is, like I said, understand your idea, understand the opportunity that you have, and align whatever resources you have in a good way. It's like warfare. Sometimes the guerrilla warfare can win. You don't always have to have the big guns and the big ammo, but sometimes it helps as well.
Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and then we've got the player coming in, Matt Law, and then Liam Toomey to finish. Matt.
Hi, Graeme. You're in the slightly unusual situation because of circumstance of having to leave quite a lot of first-team players behind, players who've been playing for you recently and in the squad recently, as well as others who haven't been. I just wondered whether you've done anything special for them, whether a first-team coach has maybe stayed behind so that they can work with first-team coaches who might normally come on these trips, or whether you've had special chats with them or anything like that.
No, I mean we trained today, so the players that are out of the group had a good training session. They'll be free tomorrow and watch the game, and then we're back so we can train on Thursday. So they don't miss too much in terms of their own preparation. They'll be available for Southampton and ready there. The guys the other players are still coming back from injury, so Raheem and NG and Christian Pulisic, and they'll just be working away back at Cobham. So it's just part of the challenge we have at the moment, but everybody's been absolutely fine.
Last question, Liam Toomey.
Hi, Graeme.
Hi.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Graeme. I remember you said when you took the job that part of your adjustment would be getting to understand the players as people, the group of players that you'd walked into. Obviously, that group has changed a lot. In January, you've got not a lot of new players to work with. Do you feel that you've got a good understanding now of the new signings in terms of their personalities and what they bring to the group from that perspective?
I would say yes and no. I think you need more than a couple of weeks to get to know somebody properly, especially someone like Enzo, for example, whose English is at the moment quite limited. But you also get the sense of them as people because of the interactions that they have with the other staff, and you watch how they behave. So you see the qualities that they have. But I must admit, I've been really pleased with how the new guys have settled into the group, and also how the existing players have helped them come into the club. You know, I think you're going to speak to Aspi later, who's a fantastic professional, fantastic person who understands the club, understands what's required to be a Chelsea player, and has really helped with that process. So we're fortunate that we have someone like him.
Hi César. Obviously you're the captain and you welcomed in like so many new players in January and things like that. How have you sort of found bringing in all these guys into the squad, and what's been your role in trying to get them to adapt to the club as quickly as possible?
Hello. It has been a bit busier transfer window of January than before, but in my role I try to help them to adapt as quick as possible to the team. In football, sometimes you don't have a lot of time to get to start your journey in a new club, in a new country, in a different language. So from my side, it was always I was trying to help to integrate them as quick as possible in the team, and that they can express themselves and show their quality. That I think quite of the few boys they have done already, and I think we have an exciting times ahead.
To follow that up and just say, you're kind of a guy who's been around Chelsea the longest. Has it been a challenge as well, just because the club's transformed behind the scenes? So you're trying to keep it a bit, like the old Chelsea, but also progress it into the new.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and it's something that I enjoy as well from my position, to try to explain the new guys and to show them what is all Chelsea about, all the trophies that we have won and that we want to win. So from my position, we have had a lot of new players, young players. So maybe different profile, which are different signings that we have in the past, but it's all about the present and the future, and now it's time for us to show that we are ready to win trophies.
There's a lot of talk on after Saturday's game that the manager didn't get angry in public with the penalty decision that you didn't get against West Ham. You've played for some managers at Chelsea who probably would have made a big deal out of that in a press conference. Is this just a different way of working, a different kind of manager? And also, does it matter if he doesn't get angry? And also, in private, behind closed doors, is there a different Graham Potter that we don't see? Have you seen him get angry in the time that he's been at Chelsea?
The truth is, I was angry. I can speak about myself. When I was watching the iPad on the bench, it was a mad decision, to be fair, that we were not awarded a penalty. That's the truth, and it was quite unfair for us to maybe not get a chance to get a penalty and 3 points, which will change the picture. But I've been with different managers that they have expressed themselves in a different way. But there's nothing more that I can add.
Okay, we'll go. Yeah, down here, Andy.
Hi, César. Just a more light-hearted question, if I may. It's tradition now at most clubs that new signings give a song to the rest of the squad. I should imagine there's quite a lengthy queue at Chelsea after January. Have you heard any of them sing yet? Or, has there been time for any of them to give their initiation song?
Tonight was a good day to do it, to be fair, but we left few behind in London, so we leave them for a Premier League game. Enzo
Fernandez is here.
But I think we prefer to do it in once. So the queue is long, as you said,
Have you been staggered by the amount of new people arriving every day? You turn up to training every morning, and there's maybe someone new in the locker room next to you. You've been surprised, and you've been at Chelsea for donkey's years.
Yeah, it has been a different transfer window. That's the reality. We have had a lot of new players coming in, young players, some of them already with great experience at the highest level. So it is a situation that we are, that we have those new players coming in, but I think they have had a big impact in the team as well, which is what we want to get that quality into the team and to get the results that is what we all work for during the week, and we want to get it in the Premier League and in the Champions League.
Let's go to Matt next.
Sorry, no.
Thank you very much. We're so used to Chelsea getting into knockout stages of Champions League, of talking about them as obviously potential winners of this competition, and they've done it twice. But because of the transitional feel of this season, it maybe isn't getting spoken about as much from the outside. But do you still get to this stage of the competition and see Chelsea as potential winners of the Champions League?
I never arrived to a Champions League game without thinking that we cannot win it. So tomorrow is not an exception. The reality is that we are not in the best form of results lately, but it's a new competition, and now it's time to prove it on the pitch. We have to go step by step. I think it's not worth to look really far ahead, rather than tomorrow night show it in a big challenge like this in this stadium. Winning the next challenge, the next doing the best pass we can, shot, concentration, focus. That's everything that requires playing in such a high level. And I'm not surprised that we are not the favorites to win the Champions League from the outside, but what it counts is on the pitch, and we have to show it that we deserve to be in the next round and then build up from there. But the reality is on the pitch, and it's up to us to be ready for the challenge.
Go last one with that.
We saw what glimpses of what Joao Felix can do at the weekend. As a defender, what's he like to face on a daily basis in training? Is he as a special talent?
Yeah, he is. I knew him from Atletico when we played against them, and also when I was watching their games in La Liga. But I was quite surprised when he arrived, because the quality that he has is amazing in training. I think the last game against West Ham, he showed the way he can turn, the way he can create spaces, passes in training. He has been unbelievable. Honestly, he has been very good. So he scored a goal. I think that will help also for his confidence. But he's a young boy with great experience, with great confidence, who is making already a huge impact in the team. And I'm looking forward to seeing him every day on the team and perform at this level.